When sitting on the golden throne, the four protagonists are thrown into another dimension called the Void, unaware that their subconscious minds are separated and manifested into new entities. These entities symbolize desires, ambitions, and suppressed urges that they've kept within their consciousness. Each entity takes on a different form and attempts to influence the protagonists to unite, embracing the new powers they've gained as new gods and achieving their dreams. Let's start with Kahara, a mercenary from Eastern Sanctuary. The entity born from him after sitting on the golden throne regards him with a grim and empty stare. A pattern carved into his chest catches the eye, which Moreau, the game developer, once mentioned as representing a clan symbol. However, in the game, Kahara is portrayed as a robber. It's plausible that in the past, Kahara belonged to a specific clan in Eastern Sanctuary. The symbol, in fact, represents antimony compounds known since ancient times, used as medicine and cosmetics. Antimony originates from the Greek language, meaning against solitude. Graphically, antimony is represented by the Eye of Horus, a symbol of royal power, good health, and protection from ancient Egypt. Regarding this, Kahara actually desires freedom and adventure in line with his endless soul. However, when he becomes involved with a woman from the Red District, he feels tied to the responsibility and hope that one day he can free her from there. This responsibility is alluded to by the new god entity as a burden he truly wishes to release. The entity tries to persuade Kahara to forget his past and responsibilities as a man, to be reborn as a new god and continue his free life like the wind. On the other hand, the symbol carved on Kahara's body also resembles the brand of sacrifice from Berserk, especially since the game is inspired by that manga. This brand of sacrifice also foreshadows Kahara's fate, where he ultimately sacrifices himself to lead the girl to the altar of the darkness. After Darce ascends to the golden throne, the transformation is profound. No longer is she the meek follower of church teachings or the obedient subordinate under Lagard's command. The entity that now inhabits her form carries an aura of authority, its very presence commanding attention. With a stature reminiscent of a seasoned warrior, clad in armor akin to Francois, she exudes power and dominance. The subtle changes in appearance speak volumes about the shift in Darce's mindset. Her hair, once lush and abundant, now thins, mirroring the symbolic baldness of Allmare, the deity of the Allmare doctrine. This transformation signifies a departure from her previous submissive existence and a newfound alignment with the doctrines she once merely followed. However, alongside this physical transformation comes a more profound alteration in demeanor. The entity within Darce, possessing a dominating soul, now seeks to exert influence not through meek adherence, but through the promise of glory and dominion. It whispers promises of power and control, enticing her with visions of conquering those who need to be herded under her authority. The relationship with Lagard, once a cornerstone of Darce's life, now stands uncertain. While there may still linger echoes of affection, there is no evidence to suggest that Darce's new incarnation retains the same emotional attachments. The entity's influence may have reshaped her priorities, casting aside personal connections in favor of a more ambitious pursuit of dominance. Enki's arrival at the Dungeon of Fear and Hunger was marked by a yearning for understanding, a desire to transcend the limitations of mortal existence and grasp the profound truths of the universe. As he approached the Golden Throne, a tangible aura of anticipation enveloped him, mingled with a palpable sense of trepidation. The throne seemed to beckon him forward with promises of enlightenment. Sitting upon the throne, Enki felt a surge of anticipation coursing through him, mingled with a primal fear that gnawed at the edges of his consciousness. It was then that the figure materialized before him, its form mirroring his own. Enki, consumed by his thirst for understanding, eagerly embraced the promises that echoed in the chamber. It was only when he dared to look beyond the mesmerizing facade of the figure that Enki glimpsed the truth concealed beneath its enigmatic visage. The object covering its head, once a symbol of mystery and power, now stood as a stark reminder of Enki's deepest fear, the fear of being trapped within the confines of his own mind, ensnared by illusions masquerading as enlightenment. Moreover, the object on Enki's head is actually similar to the face harness head cage, which was one of the torture instruments in the medieval era applied to serious criminals. This object consists of a metal frame mounted around the head and face, with several clamps tightly holding certain parts of the head. The purpose of this torture device is to torment and punish criminals in a physically and psychologically torturous manner, often causing extreme pain and deep trauma. The entity born from Ragnvaldr's subconscious, notably distinct from others, manifests as a figure draped in the rugged skin of a bear, its visage contorted in a perpetual grimace of anguish. Yet, within this grim facade, the bear's form melds seamlessly with Ragnvaldr's own, its flesh intertwining with his in a grotesque fusion that blurs the line between man and beast. The mutation extends further, as the right hand morphs into a formidable bear's paw, a stark testament to the merging of their essences. For Ragnvaldr, this transformation serves as a poignant symbol of his resignation to the relentless tide of misfortune that has dogged his every step, attributing it to an immutable destiny befitting one burdened with a tormented soul. In this fusion, he finds a somber acceptance of a path eternally entwined with bloodshed, a fate from which there can be no escape. Drawing from the rich tapestry of Norse mythology, particularly the legendary berserkers, whose ferocity and bear-like attributes were legendary, this embodiment of Ragnvaldr's turmoil mirrors their frenzied charge into battle, devoid of armor or inhibition, seemingly invulnerable to the sting of steel or the pain of wounds. It is a connection steeped in the echoes of ancient lore, where the tormented soul finds solace in the embrace of its own affliction, transcending mortal limits in a dance with fate itself. What are these entities? These entities are called the subconscious, or what Black Caliph refers to as the shadow. They are adopted from Sigmund Freud's psychoanalysis theory related to the theory of consciousness. Human consciousness consists of three psyches or personalities: id, ego, and superego. Each plays a role in our psychological development in life. According to Freudian theory, the id is the primitive, basic, and fully unconscious part of personality. It is impulsive, unconscious, and oriented towards the pleasure principle, seeking immediate satisfaction regardless of consequences. The id engages in primary process thinking, which is primitive, illogical, irrational, and fantasy-oriented. This form of thinking has no comprehension of objective reality and is selfish and wishful in nature. The second is the ego, the rational part of the psyche that mediates between the instinctual desires of the id and the moral constraints of the superego, operating primarily at the conscious level. The ego develops to mediate between the unrealistic id and the real external world. It is the decision-making component of personality. Ideally, the ego works by reason, whereas the id is chaotic and unreasonable. The ego considers social realities and norms, etiquette, and rules in deciding how to behave. Freud's superego is the moral component of the psyche, representing internalized societal values and standards. It contrasts with the id's desires, guiding behavior towards moral righteousness and inducing guilt when standards aren't met. Okay, I'm sorry for the long lecture. In short, these entities symbolize what would happen if the id were to manifest in the material world. They seek to take over the protagonist's ego. Caliph explains that these are the obstacles for someone to achieve absolution. The ego must take control and suppress the id to attain perfection. This is seen as a trap set by the old gods for humans who try to bridge the gap between them and the old gods. Ultimately, Black Caliph reiterates that this is the final challenge for the new gods. Whether the id can be cast away, or if it's the consciousness that should hold control that gets cast away. That's all I can convey in this video. I apologize if there are still many shortcomings. You can subscribe to support this channel to stay active. See you in the next lore.